Welcome to this video on where we are looking at why the small country of Liechtenstein does not have a football league. So to start with, we'll give it a bit of background. Liechtenstein is a small country in Western Europe with a population of just over 30,000 inhabitants. What makes it unique in footballing terms is that it is one of the few nations or territories not to have its own football league. Now, upon hearing that first few introductory paragraph, first reason you might come up with is the small population is not enough to support a league. However, other countries in Europe, Faroe Islands, San Marino and Gibraltar all have lesser populations, and in the case of Faroe Islands and San Marino, still host multi-tiered league systems, with Gibraltar just having one league and a second league for reserve teams. To add to this, there are already 7 teams based in Liechtenstein that all play in the Swiss league system, most notably FC Vaduz, who play in the second division but have had a short stint in the first division. These 7 teams would easily be enough to make up a league system, as they would play each other 3 times and probably have a championship playoff that would easily cover a footballing season of around 20 games. This sort of thing occurs in Pacific nations where clubs are sparse and so are pitches, but for example, Cook Islands have a 7-team league and that is perfect, and they still qualify for the FC Champions League. So clearly it still works and is still viable. However, the real reason why Liechtenstein does not have a football league system is because of the strength of the teams. Because they've been playing in the Swiss league system for so long, they have grown apart in terms of quality, and FC Vaduz are way too good for the other sides in the nation and would likely go a couple of seasons probably unbeatable, like unbeaten seasons. The difference between the Liechtensteinian teams is shown in the Liechtensteinian Cup. This is where it gets confusing. Although there is no league system in the country, the Cup is held every year to determine the best team in the nation. FC Vaduz have won all but one of the last 18 tournaments, and the winner enters the Europa League first qualifying round. The reason the winner does not get Champions League qualification from this tournament is because the team that wins a country's main cup, i.e. the FA Cup in England, the Copa del Rey in Spain, etc., qualify for the Europa League. Therefore, this means if Vaduz were to have an upturn of fortune, get promoted to the Swiss League and thus win the Swiss League, they wouldn't get Champions League qualification because they already qualify for the Europa League through the Liechtenstein qualifying system. Consequently, the only way for a team from Liechtenstein to get Champions League football is for them to win the Europa League, for which they qualify through the Cup, which a side that comes in at the first qualifying round have never done. And as FC Vaduz language in the bottom of the Swiss second division, they seem unlikely to become to the first to achieve this feat. Vaduz were last beaten in the Cup by Sub Elchen in the 2011-12 season, and Vaduz have won it a record 47 out of 50 times. The format of the Cup is unusual, as it allows 10 reserve teams to participate, which creates unusual scenarios where reserve teams sometimes progress further than the main team, and occasionally 2 of the same team, i.e. the reserve team and the first team, may be drawn against each other. That is a summary on the Football League of Liechtenstein.